Hello everybody and welcome back to my 15th attempt to do my movie review for Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. Now I did enjoy the first Black Panther movie, but I just didn't love it. I felt like it had a lot of kinks. Not to do with the director Ryan Coogler, but I think it just had to do with Marvel having a heavy hand. That being said, I loved the cast, I loved everybody in the movie, so I was thinking to myself, you know what? When they make the sequel, all the kinks will be worked out and we'll have an even better movie. Unfortunately, the main lead, Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman, passed away, and I even thought to myself, how are they going to do this? Should they even continue to make the movie? What should they do? And when they did announce that they were going to move forward with the sequel, I even thought to myself, isn't it too soon? Shouldn't you wait a couple of years at least? But Marvel wanted them to push forward because Marvel does have an agenda. They do have a map of things that they want to go forward with and how things are going to connect, and they also want to make their money. I was really torn on what they should do as far as should they recast or should they incorporate his death into the movie. As a kid growing up reading the comics, I know T'Challa was a big part of other comics. You know, he was involved in the X-Men, he was involved in Spider-Man comics, he was involved in a lot of other comic books. So I thought killing out the character may not be a good idea. How do you incorporate the death of such a major character and also dealing with other characters, dealing with their loss of the character? Also, how do you incorporate the new conflict? And how do you incorporate getting a new Black Panther? How do you fit all that into just a 2.5-hour movie? That is no easy task. Ryan Coogler is a great director and a great writer, and he managed to do a very good job incorporating all those elements into the movie. The movie was over 2.5 hours long, and I thought that was perfectly fine because there was not a dull moment in this movie. This movie is very hit with heavy emotion. Angela Bassett puts her all in this film. She is carrying this movie on her shoulders. I really hope she gets nominated for an Oscar in this film because she does an incredible job. Our supporting cast in this movie do an incredible job. Everybody in this movie had their hands full and everybody was doing their part to make this movie great. I do not know much about Namor. I did not read a lot of the comics about him as a kid, but I thought the introduction of him into this movie was really cool. I did enjoy the performances. Also, I liked the fact that they were actually a real threat. I felt like we had not had a real threat in a Marvel movie in quite some time. Also, whenever the underwater Aztec people came out on screen, it actually felt like a horror movie. They were shot very much like something you would see out of a horror movie, and I thought that was actually really cool, and it just gave off the more threatening vibe. Not going to lie, but there were moments in this movie that I forgot that I was watching a Black Panther movie, and that's not necessarily a negative thing either, I think, because we weren't seeing the Black Panther for quite some time. Also, when you're introduced to all these new elements and you're spending enough time with them in order to develop them, I kind of forgot what I was watching. If there was anything I didn't like about this film, it would have to be the introduction of a new character. I felt it was kind of forced, and I think that's because the character of Ironheart is getting her own TV show on Disney+, and I felt like she was just kind of thrown into the movie just so they could be like, hey, Ironheart, now we could promote your new show that's coming out in a couple months. The actress's performance of Ironheart was fine. It was just at this point, it felt like there was too much. We're already dealing with the conflict of loss. We're dealing with this new enemy that's coming from the waters, and we're dealing with, getting a new Black Panther. And this new character of Ironheart just felt a little too much. The character of Ironheart isn't on the screen that much. That's why I kind of felt like she could have been cut out a little easier, but whatever. But I did feel like whenever she was on the screen, I was getting a lot of the pod race scene vibes from Phantom Menace. Overall, I did enjoy this movie a lot. I liked that it was more of a drama, and it was very heavy in the drama side because we haven't had that in quite a long time in a Marvel movie. It made the stakes feel really high, and I did enjoy that. I am going to give Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever a B. Sorry it took so long for this review to come up. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mike, the Movie Misfit, and I'll see you at the movies.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.